Hey, welcome back to Daily Hope. I have some bad news today. I have found a Bible verse that justifies me preaching long sermons. I'm kind of joking, but listen to this in Acts chapter 2, and I actually do have a serious point here. When you wonder, what should a church be all about? What does a healthy church look like? Acts 2, verse 42 is a great verse that just kind of summarizes here's what a healthy church does. So I'm going to read you that verse, but I do want to give you a little context. In Acts chapter 1, we saw Jesus tell the disciples, the remaining apostles, the 11 apostles, I'm going to heaven to prepare a place for you. Go be my witnesses. Wait for the Holy Spirit to empower you. The church at that time is probably about 120 people, including those 11 apostles. You know, there's 100 some other people, many women and others who are Jesus followers. So it's a small group, and it's a persecuted group. They're in Jerusalem where their leader has just been crucified. They're hated. The government doesn't like them. The religious majority at the time doesn't like them. And Jesus says, I'm leaving you here to do this work. Well, in Acts chapter 2, Peter is preaching in the temple. And verse 40 says this, Then Peter continued preaching for a long time. See what I was saying there? Peter continued preaching for a long time. So long sermons are good. Okay. Strongly urging all of his listeners. Here's what Peter was saying, quote, save yourselves from this crooked generation. In other words, he had just given the gospel. You've got to believe in Jesus to be saved. Verse 41, those who believed what Peter said were baptized and added to the church that day about 3,000 in all. Could you imagine being at a church meeting where there's 120 people in the church, and the church goes mobile, goes out to a big public area, and Peter stands up, and all these unbelievers start listening to his sermon. And what keeps their attention? The power of the Holy Spirit. It's not Peter, it's the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit has now descended. I skipped over that, but that's in Acts 1 and 2. Peter's preaching with the power of the Holy Spirit, and by the time he gets done, 3,000 people, that's massive number of people, believe in Jesus, are baptized, and the church in one day goes from 120 to 3,120. Okay, that's probably enough for today. I'm going to get to verse 42 tomorrow, but that's verse 40 and 41. So the church has gone from 120 to 3,120. By the way, growth is a sign of a healthy church. Doesn't mean if a church isn't growing that it's bad or evil, but it's good when a church is growing, if it's growing with new believers, if it's growing like we see here. Let's pause there, and we'll pick up tomorrow at this kind of summary of a healthy church in Acts 2, verse 42. I'll see you then.